As always, in the NFL offseason, the Baltimore Ravens are the center of the national media discussion, talking about the Ravens haven't given Lamar Jackson enough help, or the Ravens fans need to stop saying they haven't given Lamar Jackson a lot of help. I'm going to give my take on it. Happy 4th of July, everybody, but let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. Now, I know I usually say bringing Ravens content every single day, but in the off season, it's very difficult for me to come out with that daily content, and I know I could. However, I don't like essentially forcing content and making repeat videos and repeat takes. I don't like to do that consistently throughout the entire off season. So this off season, I know I did it last year and the year before that, but this off season I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about the Ravens in the off season when there's news. Now, when they're practicing and things like that, I'm definitely going to be talking about the press conferences and things like that are brought up and talking about player previews. But this is the absolute dead of the off season, so there's not a lot to talk about. If you guys ever want me to make a video about something, commented on a video, shoot me a tweet, shoot us an email, whatever you want. Like, we will still try and talk about it. And I was on vacation. I was in Hawaii, so we were unable to do a recording and live stream last week, which is why we didn't have that. But we also have more content on the podcast platforms as well. Getting into it, though, the take of Ravens fans need to stop saying that Lamar Jackson hasn't been given enough help. And I want to be the first to say I agree. I think last year the Ravens clearly had given Lamar Jackson enough help. But at the same time, I think it's funny how that's the idea. It's like, oh, the Ravens fans are still complaining. I don't know that many Ravens fans that are complaining of Lamar Jackson not getting enough help. That was the consistent take in the offseason for around 3 to 4 years, where when you look at Lamar Jackson's career path or trajectory, his rookie year, it was John Brown and Michael Crabtree. The next year, they draft Hollywood Brown, but they lose Crabtree, they lose John Brown, and it's like Willie Snead, Marquise Brown, Miles Boykin, and a lot of like random NFL vets. Then, the next year, you had Duvernay, you had Prochet, you don't really add anybody. You lose Hollywood, you had Bateman. Bateman's not necessarily I'll say he's not a slam dunk first round pick. I think Bateman is still very good. I don't want anybody to misconstrue what I say. I like Bateman. I think Bateman's a really good NFL wide receiver. I think he's going to take a big step this year when he's healthy. He's a very good NFL wide receiver. But that was kind of the only addition they made, but they were replacing Hollywood. Then we draft Zay. We go out there and we sign Odell Beckham Jr. That's enough. Like, that was good at that point. And I think it's funny because the Ravens get the help, right? And they go to the AFC Championship game and lose to the eventual Super Bowl champions. I think it's really funny how, like, people just think that the Ravens are some sort of failure because they don't have a Super Bowl under Lamar Jackson. And I find that incredibly ironic because Lamar Jackson has had 3, you could say healthy seasons going into the playoffs, right? He had 2019 where unfortunately the Ravens did get bounced by the Tennessee Titans. He had, I think it was 2020, the following season, where he gets bounced by the Buffalo Bills. But then it was like, oh, he misses the playoffs. And he misses the playoffs again. He might have missed the playoffs in 2020. I'm not remembering exactly which year he got incorrect. But misses 2 playoffs. One time the Ravens didn't even make the playoffs because of it. But we lucked out. We got Kyle Hamilton. And then Tyler Huntley starts in the playoff game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Lamar Jackson comes back healthy. He gets a new wide receiver, or 2 new wide receivers, 3 new wide receivers if you count Aguilar. They go to the AFC Championship game. That's a step up. Like, every time the Ravens have finished the season with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, they have gotten better every single time, right? Rookie year, playoff appearance, wild card game. Sophomore year, they get a first round bye. They don't win a game, but they get a first round bye. The next time he's healthy, they win their first playoff game underneath Lamar Jackson. They make it to the second round. The next time, they get a first round bye and win their game, making it to the AFC Championship game. Lamar Jackson is showing consistent growth, consistent improvement. And I will say it's kind of frustrating the amount of blame that we throw on coaching and we throw on all these other things. But at the same time, I feel like it's completely justified in the sense that Lamar Jackson didn't play a horrible game, right? He didn't play his best game against the Chiefs, but he made the plays, right? They could have been down the stretch. Remember, it was a fourth down conversion in a one possession game that won the Chiefs the game on a 35-yard pass to MVS. You get rid of the fumble at the goal line, and all of a sudden the Ravens are in a great spot in that game. But unfortunately, things happen. Sometimes players, including Lamar Jackson, were unable to overcome the Kansas City Chiefs. But that's something that they will improve on. This was the first time the Ravens played the Chiefs in the playoffs. That was the first time. The Chiefs are getting older, right? Obviously, they have Patrick Mahomes. They have a good wide receiver core, right? Hollywood Brown, we don't know what's happening with Rashee Rice. I assume he'll be there. He's solid. But then you have Travis Kelce, who is aging and is probably going to retire in a couple of seasons. That's going to hurt them a lot when Travis Kelce retires. And with Lamar Jackson getting better and better every single year, noticeably better, I think that if you see improvement in the postseason, that should be celebrated and not necessarily laughed at. I think people look at Lamar Jackson, and I still get texts from people that aren't Ravens fans, and they try and clown me for being a Ravens fan. They're like, oh yeah, well Lamar can't win anything. And unless someone is a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I don't think there's a single fan base that is able to trash on our quarterback, right? Like people are Joe Burrow fans, or they're Josh Allen fans, and they're like, yeah, but Lamar can't win anything. And it's Burrow went to the Super Bowl, he lost. Josh Allen's been to an AFC Championship game. Neither of them have won any awards. I think it's really funny when Lamar Jackson is the only quarterback that gets criticized for not winning a Super Bowl, and that's because he has 2 MVPs, right? But if you're going to give him the 2 MVP, you have 2 MVPs, but you don't have a Super Bowl treatment, right? Why are you ranking him not in your top 3 quarterbacks? Why is Josh Allen better? Why is Joe Burrow better? Now, if you make the case outside of Super Bowls and you want to say, I think Josh Allen's a better quarterback because XYZ, and it's not because he's not a playoff choker, I'm fine if someone makes that argument. If you think his play style is more suited for more offenses, whatever, I don't care. But it's when people are like, yeah, but Lamar's not a winner. And Lamar Jackson, historically, is one of the winningest quarterbacks of all time. Just doesn't have a Super Bowl win. And no other young quarterback besides Mahomes has a Super Bowl win. But everyone gets ranked above him. It's funny. But overall, Lamar Jackson has been given roster help. And he's been given coaching help. The coaching has improved. Unfortunately, we lost Mike McDonald. But I think Zachary Orr will come in. He'll do a good job. We got rid of Greg Roman. That was a huge help. Those are the things that the Ravens need to be doing to consistently improve. And that's what they've done. And so I want to get off the Lamar Jackson needs more help train and instead get on the, hey, Lamar Jackson's a really good quarterback. He will find his time. He will make that Super Bowl. We just have to wait and see what year it happens, right? He's only had 3 playoff runs. Or 3 playoff runs outside of his rookie year, but the rookie year team was not good. That was a 4-5 team that he took to the playoffs. And I think that's something that we need to value and we need to consider when we talk about Lamar Jackson. Yeah, he has enough help now, but it's not necessarily an excuse to say Lamar Jackson hasn't won because he hasn't beaten Patrick Mahomes. That's just the truth. I don't think anyone is out here saying Lamar Jackson is better than Patrick Mahomes. But people act like Lamar should have a Super Bowl by now if he's that good. Like, no, Patrick Mahomes is a special player. And unfortunately, Lamar hasn't beaten him in the playoffs. But Lamar Jackson will make a Super Bowl. And hopefully he'll win it. But I think we need to start looking at the team and look at the situations outside of the Baltimore Ravens. Because the Baltimore Ravens, when Lamar Jackson are healthy, are a consistent top 2 team in the NFL. And I don't know if there's any denying that. Like, they beat the Niners in the regular season both times. The Niners made the Super Bowl. They were beaten by the Ravens in the regular season. And the only team that beat them that felt like they were better in the regular season was the Chiefs. The Ravens lost to them in 2019. And then this last year, the Ravens were the best team in the NFL in the regular season. And the only team that beat them in the playoffs was the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, they're a top 2 team. But they get talked about like they're the 7th best team in the NFL, and Lamar Jackson is holding them back when it's like he's clearly propelling them forward to levels that no other quarterback outside of like a Patrick Mahomes is going to get them to. Maybe not even Patrick Mahomes with their run style. I don't know. I just wanted to make that video today just to kind of get my thoughts on the Ravens. I haven't talked about the Ravens in a while. It's been almost a month. I feel really bad. Since I've uploaded. It's like 3 weeks, but since we've uploaded a video. But at the same time, there has been like 0 Baltimore Ravens news. But I saw this circulating yesterday, and I wanted to give my 2 cents on it. I will say though, the Ravens released their new uniforms. I didn't make a video because I felt like people would hate my opinion because I don't like them. I don't like the helmets at all. I'm saying at the end of the video, so only the true fans that watch the video will get to hear this. But I think the new Ravens uniforms are really tacky looking. I think they're an off-brand version of the Minnesota Vikings. I think that the Ravens need to be using the color black because it's just such a unique color scheme. The black and purple looks so good. I felt like they could have utilized a throwback logo. I'm fine with the purple helmet by itself, but I think it would have been really cool with a black jersey. You know, maybe use like the Lamar Jackson practice jersey. You know, the black one with just the gold and purple. Like that one would be really cool. But I just feel like they're not the worst jerseys in the NFL, but it's something where like I feel like they could have done so much better because they have such a great like throwback logo as well as an awesome color scheme, and instead it just kind of looks like the Vikings logo with like a really weird alternate logo. Like I don't like the Ravens alternate logo. I think it looks really dumb. I don't like face-on bird logos. I don't think any of them look good. I think the Seahawks one looks bad. I think the Eagles looks bad. I think the Falcons looks bad. Like, don't do face-on bird logos. They look really weird, in my opinion. So it'll be cool to see like the purple helmet and stuff like that, but at the same time, like wearing all purple with some gold on it makes me think of the Vikings. But that's my take. Only the people that stayed around to the very end got to hear that. Sorry if this was kind of a rambling video. There was not a lot of direction. I just kind of wanted to give my quick thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on it. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy 4th of July once again, and I'll see all of you again next time. Hopefully later this week, depending on my availability. And if there's anything to talk about, if you want me to talk about something, let me know. I'll talk about it. Thank you. See you again next time.